There's a sound that wallers know, the ring of good stone, solid, true. When you tap limestone with a hammer, it tells you things, where it'll split, where it's weak, whether it'll hold. Margaret Booth had been listening to stone for 30 years. She knew the sound of Malham limestone better than most folk know their own voice, which is why, when the stones started listening back, she knew something had changed. Margaret wasn't from Malham originally, Sheffield by way of Leeds. Came to the Dales in her 20s, learnt the trade from old Tommy Hartley before his hands gave out. Dry stone walling's not romantic work, cold, lonely, hard on the back. But Margaret liked the solitude, liked that walls don't argue, don't change their stories. She worked mainly around Gordale Scar and up toward Malham Cove, repairing field boundaries, tourist path walls, the kind of work that's been done the same way for centuries. Late September, she took a commission from the National Trust, a long stretch of collapsed wall up on the high path above Gordale, storm damage from the previous winter. 3 weeks' work, weather permitting, just her, the stones and the wind. She started on a Tuesday. By Friday she'd noticed something odd. When she struck certain stones, there was an echo. Not an ordinary echo. This came from below, from inside the ground. Margaret knew about potholes, knew the limestone up here was riddled with cave systems, gaping gill, alum pot, places where you could drop a stone and count to 3 before you heard it hit bottom. But this wasn't like that. This sounded deliberate. She'd tap twice, something below would tap twice back. She'd tap 3 times, 3 times back, always the same interval, always from the same spot, roughly 15 feet down, she reckoned. She mentioned it to a walker who passed by, local chap, late 60s, dog on a lead. He stopped, listened, then said something that stuck with her.
You want to be careful up here, love. Limestone plays tricks. Sound carries strange. My granddad used to say you could hear the dead arguing in Gordale if the wind was right.
She laughed it off, but that night, back at her cottage in Ayrton, she couldn't stop thinking about it. The rhythm, the precision. It wasn't an echo, it was a reply. She went back the next morning, bought a longer crowbar, a torch and a voice recorder, one of those old dictaphones from when she tried podcasting her walling work years back. Never took off, that podcast. She worked the wall methodically. Every so often she'd tap a stone and wait. It happened every time, but only in one section, a stretch about 20 feet long where the old wall had completely collapsed. She cleared the rubble carefully. Underneath, the ground was loose, not packed earth, more like backfill. And then she found it. A piece of rusted rebar, bent at an angle, and below it, a wooden post, rotted, old, not agricultural, not fencing, survey markers. Margaret stopped working, because what she had uncovered wasn't just a collapsed wall, it was a filled-in hollow, deliberately covered, decades ago by the look of it. She cleared more stones and found fabric, not modern, heavy wool, wax cotton, the kind of thing climbers wore in the 1970s, maybe earlier, a rotted rucksack strap, and below that, a boot, still laced. She stopped digging, called it in. North Yorkshire police arrived by mid-afternoon, forensics, a specialist cave rescue team from Clapham. They cordoned off the area, excavated carefully. They found remains, 2 individuals, 1 adult male, 1 younger, late teens, early 20s. Both had been there a long time. The officers were professional, respectful, but Margaret could see it in their faces. This wasn't unknown to them. In 1982, 2 climbers went missing near Gordale Scar. Martin Firth, 34, from Skipton, and Jamie Tennant, 19, from Settle. They'd gone up to explore some of the lesser-known routes above the main crag. Never came back. Search parties combed the area for weeks. Found nothing. The case went cold. Families never got closure. And then the wall collapsed. And someone, Margaret never found out who, had filled in the depression, rebuilt the wall over it, hidden it. Margaret didn't finish the job. The trust understood. But here's the thing. After the remains were removed, after the forensics team left, after the wall was properly rebuilt by someone else, the tapping didn't stop. Other wallers reported it, hikers, even some of the National Trust rangers, always in the same area, always the same rhythm. Margaret moved away 6 months later, not because she was frightened, but because every time she picked up a hammer, every time she tapped stone to test it, she'd hear it, that reply from below. The official explanation is limestone acoustics, cave systems, wind through fissures creating pressure changes that mimic sound patterns. It's a reasonable explanation, but it doesn't explain why the tapping only started after the wall collapsed, or why it matches the pattern Margaret used, or why, according to one ranger who recorded it on his phone last summer, it sometimes sounds like Morse code, saying the same thing over and over. She never asked what it said. Some stones are better left unread. The wall still stands. People still walk past it every day. And if you stop and listen, you might hear it too.